Stay away from the haters. They don't want you to succeed. They always got their hand out, and when you don't give them nothing, they don't want to fuck with you no more. But see, it ain't all about money. It's all about what you learn. Somebody trying to elevate you, but you resist because you ignorant, stupid, dumb. But fuck you. I say fuck them. I say fuck them. I say fuck them.
A major update from the U.S. Supreme Court on that Texas redistricting case. You'll remember Republicans in the state, in an unusual mid-decade review, redrew the maps, the congressional maps, earlier this year. Let's get right to CNN Chief Supreme Court Analyst Joan Biskupic. Joan, what is the latest news from the U.S. Supreme Court?
Very big news, Jake, both politically and legally. The Supreme Court, the conservative majority over the dissent of the 3 liberals, has said that Texas can use the map that it drew last summer to provide potentially 5 new districts that could flip Republican and enhance the Republican majority in the U.S. House. And what they said is that a special U.S. District Court panel that had invalidated this map, saying it was drawn on unconstitutional racial lines, that Texas had actually divided people up by race. This district court had said that, and Texas had come up here and appealed it, backed by the Trump administration. Today, the Supreme Court majority said no, that this map deserved more deference from the district court. The district court should have taken into account a presumption of legislative good faith. That's been a standard.
Danger. Supreme Court majority is saying. It's saying that the Trump-appointed district court judge failed to honor a presumption that the legislature is acting in good faith. Well, that's not true. The 3-judge panel at the district court level reviewed what the legislature did, and they said they're not acting in good faith, that they've made statements, and there was testimony and evidence elicited, that they wanted to do a racist gerrymander. And the district court judge went on to cite many instances of why the legislature was behaving in a racist manner, and how at first the legislature didn't want to do this until it colluded with Trump to come up with this racist pretext to change the maps. So the district court did make a thorough analysis there. Then it says, second, the district court failed to draw a dispositive or near dispositive adverse inference against respondents, even though they did not produce a viable alternative map. What the hell is the Supreme Court talking about? Of course there's a viable alternative map. It was the map that existed before the mid-decade redistricting. That was the viable alternative, which, by the way, that map, the one that existed, was already a horribly gerrymandered map, but that was the map that was in place. This racist gerrymandering map is what's unlawful. So do you see what the Supreme Court is setting up here? They're saying, whatever the legislature does, we just need to give deference. Even if a district court judge, even if a Trump-appointed judge makes the finding through a trial that was basically held, a mini trial, that the new gerrymandered map was racist, and then they were like, well, you didn't make adverse inferences against the party challenging the racist maps when they didn't produce a viable alternative map. And they did. It was the map that existed before the racist gerrymander. You go on to read this opinion. It says, Texas has also made a strong showing of irreparable harm and that the equities and public interest favor it. This court has repeatedly emphasized that lower federal courts should ordinarily not alter the election rules on the eve of an election. Pause there. You know who's altering the election rules on the eve of the election? Not the court. The court just said, let's have the status quo. That's what the district court said. The status quo was the map before Donald Trump and Greg Abbott colluded to do the racist map. So all the district court says is, now let's do the status quo, not what you're trying to rush through unlawfully. And then the Supreme Court said, no, district court, you just have to allow whatever the legislature says. You can't question it if it's close to an election. Clear error wasn't so outlandish in their ruling. Even if we disagree with the district court, we, the Supreme Court, are not allowed to disrupt their ruling. That's the standard, and we're not following that. Without it, will govern next year's elections for the House. And this court stay ensures that many Texas citizens, for no good reason, will be placed in electoral districts because of their race. And that result, as this court has pronounced year in and year out, is a violation of the Constitution. It is. Powerful dissent. So then in Virginia, they're like, okay, great. The Democratic Speaker, Don Scott, said, okay, why would we even just try to pick up 3 seats? Let's do a 10-to-1 gerrymander right now. Let's not even make it close, because the Supreme Court's saying that they're not even going to look at it. So why don't we do that? This is powerful stuff. Here's what Virginia House Speaker Don Scott had to say. Play the clip.
Now it's 6-5 Democrats, 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. 10-1 is not out of the realm. And I think, you laugh. I'm not joking.
I think it's a...
No, 10-1 is not out of the realm to be able to draw the maps in a succinct, community-based way. But we're going to take a look at it.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know.
Back again. Bringing it out. I never could understand the fixation public, black people, some black people had for Donald Trump. What time it is? Especially after 2020. Maybe you went for it in 2016 because you thought he was cool. Then when you found out how he was, I'm the greatest of all time. Court. I mean, United Nobody States is better than me, but me. Ruled for Trump in this racist gerrymandered Texas map. But it clears the way for every other state to do the same thing. So, like California's doing too. We don't counter Texas. I don't know 5 maps that they have. They referendum passed in November. What it takes. It's going down. Other states. They question. Virginia, their state house, ain't used to men being around. Democratically led state, period, is going to go on a 10-to-1 spree. I've been out in their state house. They black chair of the House of Representatives in Virginia State House. They did it yesterday. It was cool. We could just get claiming 3 of them. Mama fuck them. Taking 3 of them. They said, "Oh fuck it. This here ruling, we can do 10-to-1." So I hear you. In Illinois, I'm waiting to see what J.B. Pritzker's gonna do, because the Supreme Court, this is what, man. And I looked at it. There's several other states. It was 10 states before that ruling last night. There were 10 states altogether that initiated these redistricting, mid-decade redistricting, which is unheard of. And Illinois wasn't one on that list. They had New York, Ohio, Missouri. Yeah, I hear people. Yeah, the states I was talking about, like New York, all them states, are ready to do the same thing, with this redistricting. It's very important, that we understand that the evilness that's in this nation right now, before us, in the man of that's in the White House, he had the mark. Apparently, he has the mark of the beast. All these actions in demonstrate that that's who we represent. And I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I'm like, the people that voted for him, that the Republicans, the people, the independents, the Democrats that went over and voted for him in 2024, instead of voting for Kamala Harris, a competent and a competent and qualified, that's the word, qualified candidate for president. She was the vice president for 4 years. And I mean, I don't understand what people, they don't understand they're in the cult. This man represents pure evil. The thing this nation done, man, people talk about this nation is not, like people like this Uncle Tom Senator called Tim Scott of South Carolina a couple of years ago, that he talking about, the United States is not a racist nation. Yes, it is, you stupid motherfucker. It's done this same thing it done when they took a boat over here to the people here, the Native Americans. They annihilated and tricked the Native Americans, then annihilated them and put them in the reservations and shit. Then, I mean, at the same time, they was doing us, the African Americans, and making us slaves and brutally using us as free labor. And that never stopped, because after slavery, these Jim Crow laws and discriminatory laws, they still exhibited this evilness they do against a peaceful people. And then they do it with the Latino Americans. Talking about they aliens. They don't have no right to be here. All this, and then they brutally grabbing them and violating their due process rights and throwing them in a van and kidnapping them, putting them in a unsanitary holding facility and sending them someplace where they ain't from or never been. They've been here all their life. You tell me that is not a racist? And you are a Christian nation. Talking about we a Christian nation. Oh no, I know why you do. Your God is a white God when he is the exact opposite of who really God is. Jesus was black. God is black, and you worshiping a white exact opposite. So it ain't nothing but it's Satan. You worshiping the devil all day long. You've been doing it forever and doing his job here in this country. You've been doing a good job for Satan, who you represent. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, the people that are really, really God-fearing people, man, we got to go up against this. All the people, I don't give a damn what race you is. You ain't evil like that there. This here is totally wrong, totally evil, totally ungodly. Come on over and get the Democrats in there, man, because we got to get together as a people against this evil that's in our country. This is our country. This is where we work to make a better land for everybody, for our kids, our grandkids, and people. We got to get together. This evilness is wrong. And I know the majority of Americans don't believe and don't support, don't approve of what's going on right now. It's ridiculous. These people are saying it was all right. These Republican congressmen are saying it was all right to shoot that drone device and shoot the boats and shoot the men that were survivors. They approve of it. What evilness you have to be to do that? To say that's okay. Now, if they do it to our soldiers, you'll be pitching a bitch, ready to go nuclear on the motherfucker. But you'll do it to another one because you don't look at them as equals, because you look at all minorities as not equal. But man, we put you here. We put your race here. Dr. Yaku. Dr. Yaku was compassionate. Anunnaki were black. Us. Dr. Yaku wanted to put other races on this planet. And it's the only place where you at in this whole solar system. I know, I look. You can't tell that lie no more. Ain't no life in this planet. Ain't no life other way. It's everywhere. And it's all black. You ain't nowhere but on Earth. If you anywhere else, it's that little bit of you. You're wrong. You ain't good. We gods, dude. We of God. Black people are of God. You ain't. Danger. You bitch ass motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if you was a cop or whoever. You lucky your bitch ass wasn't in Inglewood, some motherfucker. Well, they would have had you out there in Austin. You out there in West Garfield. Humble Park. North London, Roseland, Morgan Park, Harvey. Fuck out of here. You to get handed, son. Right there. Right there. You to get handed, son. You and the motherfucking cops that tried to come to your motherfucking rescue. Still a bitch. With a lawsuit. Period. Bottom line. Gotta have help. People like me. Come fresh out the joint. And no law every time. We all big yourself. Fucking sue. Big time. Over the man. Every time. Seven. Street.